Good morning, Western Washington, and happy Tuesday. I'm Matthew Fab with Western Washington Weather, and today we're going to take a look at the impacts from our windstorm that has been moving through the area overnight and into the morning hours, and we'll take a brief look at the extended forecast and some of the warmer conditions that are coming up over the next few days. So looking here on the satellite loop, you can see how the storm moved in there over parts of the Strait of Juan de Fuca, then weakened as it moved eastward here toward the San Juan Islands, and then it's going to move northeast into British Columbia there. It has cast a strong pressure gradient to its south, bringing very strong winds across the area. You can also see it's brought a lot of areas of showers. The Seattle radar is still down, so we don't have a great idea of what exactly is going on across the lowlands, but you can see we've had a lot of rain over parts of southwest Washington over the past 24 hours or so with this storm. Taking a look here at maximum wind gusts overnight, we had some pretty strong gusts. You can see 60 miles per hour there at Tacoma Narrows Airport and at Boeing Field, 52 at SeaTac and at Point Robinson and at Payne Field, 64 in Hoquiam, 52 in Olympia, 55 out there just south of Bellevue. Going to the north, you can see this storm was not as strong up there, or just more typical for them. You can see 61 at Naval Air Station Whidbey, 47 at Friday Harbor, 51 in Bellingham, and looks like it got to about 43 miles per hour at Vancouver International Airport there in BC. Going down to the south a bit more here, we had some extraordinary gusts here along the mouth of the Columbia River, with both sides of the mouth of the river. They're hitting 85 miles per hour, but it looks like both those stations have gone offline. You can see a peak of 76 miles per hour on top of the Astoria Bridge, 52 in Olympia, 36 in Centralia. So some of these areas in here did get sheltered, but some of these mountaintops in the Willapa Hills gusted over 70 miles per hour. And then taking a look here at PSE, you can see as of 7:30 a.m., PSE has 102,242 people out of power. The Kitsap Peninsula has gotten hit pretty hard. The entirety of Bainbridge Island is out of power. Most of Vashon Island without power. But take a look at the Kitsap Peninsula from Manchester and Port Orchard all the way down toward Burleigh and Purdy here and along the Olalla area there on Colville's Passage, and then out towards Seabeck. You can see the entirety of Bainbridge Island again, and then out by Paulsbo and Kingston and Indianola, you can see big outages there as well. Here in the metro area, you got some outages along Mercer Island and some of the east side, and then a decent amount of outages around Normandy Park and Burien and part of Des Moines and Federal Way, and between Federal Way and Auburn, and then some good outages there around Olympia and Grand Mound and out toward Highway 8 there. Even though the winds were not as strong for some of these areas, they still got some pretty good outages, including around Olympia and Lacey there. So a decent amount of outages for PSE, 483 individual outages, and really hard hit there across, if we could zoom in, parts of the southern Kitsap Peninsula there. Just a huge area without power, so that's pretty interesting to see. Taking a look at Snohomish PUD, 9,700 customers out there, the majority of them here in some outages along the Bothell-Everett Highway and parts of Silverton, Mill Creek, Linwood, and areas south of Everett. Snohomish County was not hit as hard as other areas with this storm. And take a look at Seattle City Light, 28,848 customers out. Some big outages here in the Madison Park areas northeast of downtown Queen Anne Hill. You can see some outages around Green Lake and Meadowbrook there, and then a cluster of outages here in Broadview. So as we go south, you can see a decent portion of West Seattle there along Alki and Beach Drive there is out of power, and then some other areas along Marginal Way, Delridge. So Seattle got hit decently hard as well, and you can see down toward Three Tree Point in the city limits of Seattle, there are also some power outages where some of those strong winds occurred. And then we're also getting some big snow totals at some of our higher passes. You can see Stevens Pass just getting dumped on right now, and the same at White Pass. You can barely even see the road there at White Pass, US 12 there. So taking a look at the forecast here on the European model, you can see this storm moves in. You get heavy rain at times through the day today, turning to showers by this afternoon. Showers wrap up by this evening. We remain dry tomorrow. We remain mostly dry on Thursday, except for some of the coastal areas and some areas from Mount Vernon northward. We remain dry through Friday and into Saturday. And then by the time we get to about Saturday evening, you get some light rain moving onto the coast. Brief showers Sunday evening there across parts of western Washington. But overall, the next few days do not look very impactful at all. And in fact, it will be nice and warm, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So taking a look here at the high resolution rapid refresh wind gust forecast. So this is 7 a.m. You can see still gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour across the region, a few places hitting 50 plus. As we go to 8 and 9 a.m. there, you can see this westerly surge starts down the Strait of Juan de Fuca, gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour in that westerly surge, pretty strong on Whidbey Island there. And then you can see as we go all the way to 10 a.m., you still have winds gusting 40 to 45 miles per hour, near 50 miles per hour for downtown Seattle, 40 plus for Tacoma and Bremerton and Shelton. That continues as we go to 11, 12, 1, and by the time we get to 2 p.m., you're finally starting to get winds gusting under 40 miles per hour. Those winds will diminish fully by the time we get to about 8 to 9 p.m. here. Those winds get down under 20 miles per hour. So it's going to be a windy day, that is for sure. You can see the European model shows a similar thing with these gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour across the metro area all the way through 10 a.m. there before we start to push those winds a little bit further south between Seattle and Tacoma, gusting up to 40 miles per hour through noontime, and then that starts to calm down. You can see the westerly surge on the European model as well. Between 8 to 9 a.m. they're hitting Whidbey Island. So by the time we get to this evening, winds will definitely be calm across the region. Maybe a few areas gusting to 20 miles an hour, but this is definitely a longer duration event than usual because this low is just taking its sweet time to move across the area. Taking a look at simulated radar for the rest of today, you can see it will not be raining all that much in the Puget Sound area. However, you see a lot of rain at times and then some heavy mountain snow for areas from Tacoma southward, and then of course in the mountains. You can see we have some convergent zone potential across parts of Snohomish County this afternoon that could bring some additional heavy snow totals to Stevens Pass before that starts to wrap up by the time we get to about 9 p.m. tonight. There it's mostly clear. And then also we have these big waves on the coast here. You can see as we go through today, those maximum wave heights, 30 plus feet along the Washington coast. That calms down pretty quickly as we go into Wednesday morning. There you can see those maximum wave heights down to 15 to 18 feet or so. So it won't be too impactful for too long, but this morning you can see these waves going on right now and through about midday, pretty impactful at times if you are out right on the coast there. Coastal flooding, dangerous surf conditions. It won't last for too long. It's not going to last through tomorrow, but it's pretty impactful right now, so be very careful if you're out there on the Washington and Oregon coasts. Then you can see accumulated positive snow depth change. This number for Snoqualmie Pass is likely a bit too high, probably like 3 to 4 inches at most for Snoqualmie, but an additional foot possible for Stevens and White Passes as we go through today into tomorrow before those showers wrap up. And then you can see National Blended Models high temperatures showing up here. Take a look at this. This is Wednesday's high temperatures, and you can see highs in the upper 50s to low 60s across the entirety of western Washington. Some forecasts, like the European model, show some areas getting into the mid 60s, especially east of I-5, so that will be nice for some folks. Then you can see similar conditions there on Thursday and Friday. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we start to cool back down. We go all the way back down to the low 50s by Sunday. We will have partly sunny conditions for the rest of this week, so that will be nice after all of the rain and wind we've had over the past few days. So thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to stay safe out there as the wind will continue for a few hours today. Those high wind warnings and wind advisories don't expire until around 10 a.m. for most of the region. So be sure to subscribe here to Western Washington Weather on YouTube and follow me on Blue Sky, Twitter, and the Western Washington Weather Facebook group for more updates. And thank you all very much for watching. I will talk to you all later.